All right, guys, we are working on workbook pages 117 through 120, fraction word problems. Just follow along with the video, have your book open, 117 starting. A few reminders about working on word problems. Remember, we underline the question first, circle the important info, use some sort of model or some sort of visual aid to help you determine how to solve it, and then write your answer in a complete sentence, okay? Let's start with our first one. Elena has 12 pieces of banana bread. She gives an equal amount of banana bread to 5 friends. How many pieces of banana bread does she give each friend, right? So we have 12 pieces between 5 friends. Let's underline the question. How many pieces of bread does she give each friend? That's what we got to figure out. 12 pieces, 5 friends, an equal amount, right? So that's essentially, we've taken 12 and we've cut it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. And we are trying to figure out how much one section is, okay? And so I've done that here, right? And so we're just 12 into fifths. It's an improper fraction, so let's simplify. 5 goes into 12 2 times with a remainder of 2 fifths. So each person gets 2 and 2 fifths pieces of bread. Let's write that as a complete sentence. Each friend gets 2 and 2 fifths pieces. There we go. On to our next one. A utility bill shows that a household used 2001 gallons of water in a 5-day period. Well, okay, question as we're going, what was the average amount of water used by the household each day? All right, so again, fractions are just another way of showing division. So we're just taking 2001 and dividing it into 5, right? Similar model to the one we just drew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't know how much one of them is, but we know that all of them together are 2001. This is a bigger number. We can't do that mentally. And so I'm going to set it up long division style. 5 can't go into 2, but it can go into 20 4 times. Minus 20 equals 0. Bring down the 0. 5 goes into 0 0 times. Minus 0 equals 0. Bring down the 1. 5 goes into 1. 0 times minus 0 equals 1. So 400 remainder 1, but we can rewrite our remainder as 1/5. So 401/5 gallons was the average for each day. Okay, here we go. Again, always feel free to pause if you need time to read it. Okay. Last one on this page. A ball of string is 50 yards long. A shipper uses 5 yards of string to tie packages. The remaining string is then cut into 7 equal pieces. What is the length of each of the 7 pieces of string? So we're going to underline that. He had 50 yards, used 5, and then cut the other into 7 equal pieces. All right, so what we've done is we have this amount, and it's 50. Okay, we've taken 5 off, and then we've cut that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah. Cut the other into 7 equal pieces. Now let's think if he had 50 and he used 5. Let's do that math there. It means he's left with 45 yards. And now we got to figure out how much is one of those pieces. We're going to take 45, cut it into 7 equal pieces. 7 goes into 45 6 times with a remainder of 3 sevenths. So each piece was 6 3/7 yards long. Okay, I just abbreviated yards. You can write the whole thing out, but there we go. Just simplifying improper fractions on that first page. All right, Steve picks 55 pounds of pears. That is a lot. That is a small child worth of pears. Wow. He packs an equal amount of pears into 6 bags. He then has 4 pounds of pears left. What is the weight of the pears in each bag? Okay, so similar model to what we just worked on. Overall, he had 55, but he didn't use all 55. He had 4 left over. let's just do the quick math there. 55 minus 4 gives us, so he has 51 pounds separated into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bags. We got to find out how much is in one bag. Okay, almost forgot to circle important info. So we have 51 over 6. 6 goes into 51. Rainfall here 8 times with a remainder of 3 6. We can reduce 3 6 by 3 to give us 8.5. Each bag weighed 8.5 pounds. Next, Jeremy puts an empty container under a leaking faucet. In the first hour, 3/8 quart of water collects. In the second hour, 1/6 quarter of water collects. Underlying question, how much water collects in the container in 2 hours? So we have 3/8 for the first, 1/6 for the second. We just got to put those together. We're adding two fractions. Now what's handy here is, let's remember that we need to have the same denominator. Now we could do 6 times 8 and cross multiply, right, to get our common denominators and our numerators all situated. But then we'd have to reduce afterwards in this case, because there is a smaller number 6 and 8 go into. 6 and 8 both go into 24. So 6 times 4 is 24, so 1 times 4 is 4. 8 times 3 is 24, so 3 times 3 is 9. Only add the numerators. We get 13/24, which cannot be reduced. So 13/24 quarts collects in 2 hours. And we could make a model. We could do take something and cut it into 8 pieces and shade those in, and something into 6 pieces and shade one of those in. And that's just what we're putting together. There's your visual representation. Okay, next page. Arnold buys 8/9 pounds of ground turkey. He uses 3/4 pounds of the ground turkey to make meatballs. How many pounds of ground turkey are left? So he has 8/9. He uses 3/4. All right, so again, we could do our model of having 8/9. Let's see, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Oh, didn't get them at first. Shade in 8 of those. And 3/4. Okay, so there's our visual representation. And then let's do it. Let's subtract. 9 and 4 both go into 36. Right, that's the smallest number, so we could cross multiply here. We got 27. We have 32. 32 minus 27 gives us 5/36. So Arnold has 5/36 pounds left. Okay, there we go. A snail is at the bottom of a well. In the first 10 minutes, the snail climbs 23 7/12 inches. In the next 10 minutes, it climbs 19 5/6 inches. How far is the snail from the bottom of the well after 20 minutes? Right, so we had first 10 minutes was 23 7/12. Next 10 minutes is 19 5/6. This is a harder one to do a model for. We could do it this way. I think we just have our whole as one box, and that's 23. And then we could cut it into, let's see, 12ths. So that'd be halves. That'd be 6. So 1, 2, 3. There's 12ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then over here we have a big 19. And we have 6ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we are adding those up. Okay, so let's do the 23 plus 19 first. That gives us 42. And then we have to do 7/12 plus 5/6. What's nice here is we can turn the 6 into twelfths and then add. So we only need to change 1. To change a 6 into a 12, we have to multiply by 2. So that gives us 7 twelfths plus 10 twelfths. That is 17 twelfths, which is an improper fraction. 12 goes into 17 one time with a remainder of 5 twelfths. Put together our two answers, the 42 and the 1 5 twelfths, and we get 43 and 5 twelfths. So it is 43 and 5 twelfths inches from the bottom. Okay, there we go. Last page, last question. Johnny is jogging along a track. He has already jogged 1 2/3 miles. He plans to jog a total of 3 1/4 miles. How many miles does he have left to jog? So how many miles does he have left? It's done 1 2/3, total of 3 1/4. Okay, we can do this way. We know the total is 3 1/4. He's used, we don't know what portion that is of it, but he's used 1 2/3. 1 2/3. We don't know how much is left. So that's how I would draw it. So we know the total and we know part of it. So let's subtract. So 3 minus 1 equals 2. And then we have 1/4 minus 2/3. Well, let's get a common denominator first. 4 and 3 both go into 12. We cross multiply, we have 8 and 3. We cannot do 3 minus 8. So we're going to need to borrow from that 2. We're going to have 1 whole, and then we need 12 twelfths for that other whole. That's going to be borrowed. Okay, so we borrowed 3 minus 1 is 2, and we turned that 2 into 1 whole and 12 twelfths, which is also worth 2, but we got to borrow that 12 twelfths. So that 12 twelfth comes down with the 3 twelfths because we borrowed, so that gives us 15 twelfths minus 8 twelfths. That gives us 7 twelfths. So putting together our two answers, right, the 1 whole and the 7 twelfths, he has 1 7 twelfths miles left. There we go. And that does it for our word problems.